bello.
But I've been using since 96. Thank you. All the trouble. Thank you for coming.
It's great that we made it here. The second part, as I mentioned in the beginning, one of our case study, like an example of how in Denmark the social entrepreneurial organizations work to take part in integration inclusion of people, especially the young people. So we have the privilege of meeting amazing Reda, who is a good friend of mine, but also how we met through sports together, and I've been working in several projects, so with Girl Power, but also with the club that I'm working, and through friends. So we have been always connected with each other over several years, and they're part of the street sport community, which is quite actually known in Denmark, but also outside Denmark. It's one of the coolest places where many people, even from very organized sports and organized football clubs, want to actually come and spend some time here. Right now it looks a little bit empty, but like they have the time where many young people is all over. They are the coolest people. So
Thank you.
I'll give the floor to Reda, but Reda, for your information,
Yeah.
Girl Power has been part of Erasmus Plus collaborative project,
Yeah.
and we have the honor of collaborating with our two partners in Berlin, organization Berlin, but also from Italy.
Cool.
And part of the project is hosting the collaborative partners in each country to continue the project, and also have some case studies like yours, and also tomorrow we are going to the refugee center in Sandholm.
Okay.
And they will of course introduce themselves and their organization, but I just wanted to give an overview.
Cool.
Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for coming by. It's an honor to have you here. As Kalida said, we've known each other for several years, where we use sports to empower different types of people. Sports can help people in different ways, socially, physically, mentally, and for us it's very important to create a change and sustainable platforms where people feel welcome. Personally, my origins are from Algeria, born and raised here in Copenhagen, and I've always loved sports. I wasn't good enough to be professional, so I had to change path, and I decided to work with people. I've been working with youth for at least 15 years in different contexts, primarily based with sports, juvenile prisons, refugee camps, youth centers. So yeah, for me, sports and people are the main purposes I have in life. And in 2019, I had the opportunity to come down here. This area is under a bridge, as you can see, and is a border between two municipalities. On this side we have Nørrebro, which is I would say a working class area with people especially from immigration, and on this side Frederiksberg, it's a little bit more wealthy. The apartments are invested properties, where here are rented. So when we came here, it was a little bit confusing because it's different type of cultures, and it was a challenge. This area is a parking space, as you maybe noticed, and throughout the 90s and early 2000s it's been a socially challenged area where people were selling drugs, hanging out in the streets, burning cars. So it's always been a little bit frightening to come by here when it's dark. So when we got the opportunity to come and create a change, I felt, okay, this is a big challenge, but let us try. So since 2019 we got the opportunity to come down here and make activities. The area is owned by the municipalities and have not had any visions about this area, so it was just open space where a lot of people just came and sold drugs. And after 2019 we fundraised some money and thought, okay, we had to do something to create a sustainable platform. So we are a group of 4 associations who got together and created Street Under Boon, which means street under the bridge. As Kalida said, street sports community primarily based on street football, basketball, dance, parkour, where young people after school time can come and join the activities for free. So we are associations, but a little bit different in our context and setup. So everything we do down here is free. So we use our time to get some money, fundraise, and we have some role models, volunteers who use their time after school to facilitate the different activities. And for us it was very important to create something by the community for the community, because you have a lot of projects out there with the community just use money, but they don't use the money effectively. They just put a court or an area and people don't come. So for us it was important from the beginning to try to get the culture and ask people what they think is appropriate for them, and take their feedback to be part of this. So as you can see, Denmark's new street courts by players for players. So since 2019 we started. There wasn't that many units, but there's different units here, and all the units have the same aim, which is social purpose. The blue unit over there is an office where young entrepreneurs, students can rent a small area, do their homework, create projects. Pops is a burger bar which tries to employ some of the young kids who have difficulties to get jobs other places. In the garage, the red unit, it's we can go there afterwards so you can see how it looks inside. It's a cultural space where there's concerts, film evenings, so it's culture in different kind of ways. I'm primarily with the sports, but with the alliance here it allows us to create different projects and help each other and do something for the youth. So yeah, the 2 associations I represent are Street Society and Panna House. Street Society was founded in 2014 and Panna House in 2013. And what we have in common is street football. For Street Society is more to include young people from the streets who don't know what to do and are just hanging out. Try to give them some empowerment and make sure that they can be a part of a community. Where Panna House, it's more about creativity, and Panna is, I don't know if you know Panna, but Panna is a discipline in street football where you play 1 against 1, and if you make the ball go through the opponent's legs, then you win. So it's like a nutmeg, some say tunnel, but when you get the ball through the other's legs, then the match is over. It's like a knockout. So yeah, it's flexible communities. You come as you are. It doesn't matter where you come from, what kind of clothes you have. You don't have to have equipment. You don't have to pay to be part. Just you use your time with us, and we will try to give you something back. So these are the 2 football organizations down, and besides them we have Urban 13, who is a music cultural organization who makes festivals. So it's a little bit different, but they also work with youth. So yeah, so as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, it looked like this throughout the whole space. It was graffiti, just cars, no life, very boring. And Urban 13, who has with the municipality the right to administrate this area. I think there is 4,000 square feet from here to the other side. And since 2019 we've tried to see, okay, how can we create sustainable projects and make sure to bring light to an area which has been dark and people have been afraid to go through. And now with the artistic view and with the colors, we try to make it more open so everyone can come and be part of the community. Okay, so yeah, this is the alliance I mentioned before, and from the communities I came from, we hadn't have like a base before we came down here. So through this alliance and these partnerships, it allowed us to grow and get some help, because through partnerships you can create change and attract different type of people to be part of the project. Like for us, we throughout the years we used a lot of time with the youth, but not with the administration or the municipality or fundraising. But with the alliance, we figured out, okay, if we put our strengths together, we can create some results. And I would say we've created some results. We've not finished yet. It's a long journey, but it's getting there, and we're getting exposure, and people are aware that we're here. And I feel personally when I come down here a difference when I meet the neighbors, when I talk to people about how they feel. Sometimes we get some complaints because we have some music to our activities, but it's part of the game, and we do our best to satisfy everyone. For us, it's mostly important that you have a youth that feels heard and being part of the community and being included instead of being excluded. Because when people feel excluded, then they try to do different stuff that are maybe bad, drugs, criminality. So through sports and through culture and art, music, we try to bring them in and see how we can work with them. So yeah, as you can see, gather people of different ages, backgrounds, neighborhoods through street sport. We try to function as a street clubhouse for existing communities with the aim to activate more young people in order to highlight the street sports opportunities that exist. Street sports is, I would say, in a Danish context, is still new, because some people accept it and some they just see it like, yeah, it's just something you do in the parking space or in the backyard. But for us, it's more than that. We try to challenge the traditional sport, because for a lot of clubs or associations, they think people come just because if you have to pay and be part of that. And we feel that economy is usually a barrier for a lot of people. So for us, we try to challenge the traditional format, even though we respect the traditional format, because a lot of people are good enough to go to football club and get a football career or build themselves. But for us, it's like all the others who are not good enough to make it or have the parents who push them in the right direction. Especially in this area of Copenhagen, there's a little bit criminality, gang life, people doing bad things. So for us, it's extra motivation to make sure that, hey, people see that there is some good ways in life and you can choose your own path through sports. So if you become a football player, basketball player, great, but as long as you evolve yourself as a human being with the right mindset, you will make it in life somehow. So yeah, before we started here, we were like getting inspirations from other countries, because a lot of other countries are far ahead with the visuals and artistic and how you can use a space to make sure you gather the culture with art. And this is a university in Rotterdam where you can see people, their breaks, they're just sitting having lunch. So it can create more than just sports. It can gather people and bring light to society. So yeah, so before we started the project, we were like, okay, other cases, international cases out there, we can get some inspirations from, and there are probably much more than this, but for us it was like, we wanted to create something with strong visual effects. So the next step was to get some crowdfunding from a fund called Realtania, and Realtania is like a constructions fund where you get money to construct an area, and they had this internet application where you can describe the project, and through the likes and the views they evaluate the meaning of the project and the value of the project. And we got through, and we got to start with 1,070,000 Danish crowns, which is I think around 150,000 euro. It sounds like a lot of money. For us it was like, wow, that's a lot of money. But then when we got into construction prices with asphalt and stuff like that, it went very quick. So it was a good step for us. We were very happy. But then when we started making phone calls to figure out, okay, how much does it cost to make asphalt? How much does it cost? It was a little bit expensive. But yeah, this is a court from Pigalle in Paris, which is in between two buildings, was also very aesthetic and yeah. So yeah, the process was going on from 2019, and we proceeded. And this is, oh, sorry. Okay. This is some of the things I mentioned earlier. Then when municipalities sometimes build stuff, it's not creative at all. They just build, use a lot of money. Like here you have a basketball court with the net. So if you shoot from far away, it touches the net, and that ruins the experience for the young people who wants to play sports. So you have a lot of these areas in Copenhagen where the municipality just builds, but the community doesn't go there because it doesn't suit their requirements. Or so for us it was very important to have the community first and make sure, okay, we have to get some feedback, make some interviews with people and try to figure out, okay, what type of space would give meaning in sports terms, social terms, and culturally as well. So this is like a 3D design of the football court that's over there with some sitting space and yeah, some overview, so you can use this multifunctional. So you can have a football tournament, you can have a basketball tournament, but at the same time you can also have a concert, people, the crowd going upstairs. So it was very important to try to get people's feedback and from there build the process. So yeah, we had our own knowledge, but at the same time we had these workshops to make sure that people could come with their feedback, informations, because we think we know everything, but when you ask different people out there, you figure out my idea wasn't good enough. So with their feedback, the idea just becomes stronger and grows until something good is.
Sorry,
Yep, of course. Sorry.
Very quick.
Yep.
When you're saying pupils' feedback, you mean like you go and ask people, or you bring them together and ask them?
Yeah, we had open here, so we had workshops, and we invited the local community, the youth centers, the schools, the parents, so we can get different feedback from different age groups, ethnicities. Everyone was welcome. So some were more positive, some were like, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
But for us the process was more important, to include everyone. Then afterwards you can't come and complain and say, hey, we didn't get the chance to be part of this. So by being open and just inviting all the people we think, okay, they have some criteria or some ideas, every suggestion was welcome. So yeah, so that's like how the ideas became to a process, and slow by slow the process became a reality. So we had some architects from the network we have here who had some suggestions on how to create something visual but also technical at the same time. Like we've had ideas, okay, if not we're here, people want to play, they don't have a basketball, just leave some space with a code. You open the code, you get the ball, you play, you put it back. We didn't go with this solution, but I still think something that could create more openness around the space, because if economy and money is an issue, you have people who want to be part of something but they don't have money to have a ball or something. So yeah, we had different architects who came with some sketches. This is one of my friends' beginning steps. I would say, yeah, it's cool, but it wasn't professional enough. But like the idea of having a 5 against 5 on the long side, but also 3 against 3 on the broad, so like you can use it in different, you can split and create more activities with one court. So this is like the design we chose to go with. You can't see it right now because there's a lot of snow out there, but blue and red, like in boxing you have blue and red, and the fist, like respect, when in respect for each other. And we chose also to go with some small courts, so we can also use the court on both sides. So yeah, so this so now what? Even though we've made it this far, there's a lot of things we think we can do even more better, more fundraising, more activities than just football and basketball at the moment. We're considering to have parkour, we're considering to have like also a container with music where young people can come and get some guidance to how to write texts, how to create a beat, make productions, so we can, how to say, embrace the whole urban culture. Because for me, I'm a football geek, it's just football, but to create more awareness and attract a lot of other people, it's also important to go in different paths and see, okay, how we can do more than just football and basketball. And yeah, we share the knowledge of this project with the world, so we can incentivize more areas for players by players. We feel like this is just the beginning, and hopefully this case can create some inspirations to other municipalities out there where they need creativity or inspiration, and maybe also in an international scale. We participate sometimes in different conferences. We were at Riga in Latvia here for a couple of months ago with the project through also Erasmus Plus called Medicine for Street Sports, which is a conference who gathers all types of communities throughout Europe and exchange ideas, cases, and get network on an international scale. So even though we operate here for the local community, for us it's also important to have connection with the bigger world out there, because we have also some very good partners and friends, Holland, Belgium, France, England, and we follow each other on the social platforms and see, okay, how can we learn from each other? Because we have here in a Danish context, but maybe another country is more far ahead or have other solutions that we don't see. So it's also important for us to keep the culture alive, not just national scale, but also in an international level.
Cool.
So yes, to finish out, what are the main takeaways from this project? Collaboration is important. Increased quality, time, network, opening up about a project creates more opportunities, involve the community, deeply gives them a sense of ownership. So that's also the things we figured out very quickly, that the young people, when they were involved from the beginning stage, they don't come and ruin, they obey, they understand, they respect the rules. So yeah, something that's very important, to involve the surroundings and the people in the local network before you begin. So it has a longevity and a sustainability to exist for many years. And before I finish, I have a video I want to show you. So this is like the first event we made here after we started the building process, and it was unofficial World Championship in Pana. So we had people from the whole world, all different continents, and we held it here outside the Red Unit, and it was it was a start that gave us like, wow, we can do more than this. So let's see if I can make it play. There's maybe And that was it. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
So
much.
inspiring.
Take care of yourself. And always feel welcome to come by when you come back. When I come to Italy, I will...
Berlin, Italy.
Berlin, oh Berlin, yeah. Yeah, I'll bring you back. Nice to meet you. Thank you, thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. You too. Thank you. Likewise, likewise. Andrea.
Ciao, bello.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you, thank you.
Ciao bro.
Ciao. Take care, man.
Ciao.
Take care, man. Pleasure. Kalira, we'll keep in touch, huh? See you.